Brown University is shaken. Bondi Beach is attacked. I'm Grim. This is your Grim Dispatch for the afternoon of December 15th. 2 students are dead and 9 injured after a gunman opened fire inside Brown University's Barris and Holly Engineering Building during exam week. A person of interest was detained but released without charges, leaving the shooter still at large. The campus remains under heightened security, classes are canceled, and families are grieving. Providence officials admit the investigation is fluid, with evidence pointing in new directions. This story is still developing. I'll be watching closely and will deliver updates tomorrow if there are significant changes. But let's move to Bondi Beach. In Sydney, Bondi Beach has become the site of Australia's deadliest mass shooting in decades. 16 people were killed and more than 40 injured when a gunman opened fire during Hanukkah celebration near the promenade. Authorities confirmed the attacker targeted the Jewish community, making this not only a mass shooting but an act of anti-Semitic terror. The gunman was killed at the scene, and police are investigating possible extremist ties. The attack has shocked Australia, a nation that has not seen mass gun violence on this scale since the Port Arthur massacre in 1996. Prime Minister Peter Dutton called it an assault on our values and our people, pledging national mourning and swift action. International leaders have condemned the attack with messages of solidarity pouring in from Israel, the United States, and across Europe. Jewish organizations worldwide are calling for vigilance, warning that anti-Semitic violence is rising globally. Bondi Beach is more than a landmark. It's a symbol of Australia's openness, its culture, and its identity. To see it turned into a killing ground during a religious festival is a wound that will scar the nation. Australia has lived under strict gun laws since Port Arthur in 1996, when 35 people were killed and 23 injured. That massacre led to sweeping reforms, bans on semi-automatic rifles and mandatory buybacks and national registration. And now, for nearly 3 decades, those laws were credited with preventing mass shootings. Bondi breaks that narrative. It forces the question, how did a gunman acquire weapons, plan an attack, and strike at one of the country's most iconic sites? The comparison to Christchurch in New Zealand is unavoidable. In 2019, a gunman targeted mosques, killing 51. That attack was live-streamed, designed to spread terror globally, and Bondi carries the same hallmarks: ideological hatred, symbolic targeting, and mass casualties. The attack comes during Hanukkah, a deliberate choice. Anti-Semitic violence has surged worldwide in recent years, from synagogue shootings in Pittsburgh to assaults in Europe. Bondi adds Australia to that grim list. Jewish leaders warn that anti-Semitism is not confined to fringe groups. It is mainstreaming, amplified by online platforms, conspiracy theories, and extremist propaganda. The Bondi gunman tapped into that current, turning ideology into bloodshed. Bondi Beach is not just sand and surf, it's a global icon, a place where tourists and locals gather, a symbol of Australia's openness. To attack Bondi is to attack the nation's identity. The choice of location magnifies the terror. It says nowhere is safe, not even the most public, celebrated spaces. It forces Australians to rethink security in places they never imagined vulnerable. Prime Minister Dutton faces immediate pressure. Australia's gun laws are strict, but Bondi exposes the gaps. Opposition leaders demand inquiries into how the attacker obtained weapons. Jewish groups demand stronger protections, and civil libertarians warn against overreach. The debate will be fierce. Some will argue for even tighter restrictions. Others will insist laws are already sufficient and the failure was enforcement. Still, others will warn against reactionary policies that erode freedoms. Bondi has drawn global attention. Israel's prime minister called it an attack on all Jews everywhere. And President Trump pledged support, saying America stands with Australia against terror. European leaders echoed the sentiment. The attack will likely strengthen international cooperation against extremism. Intelligence sharing, counterterrorism operations, and online monitoring will intensify. Bondi is a reminder that terrorism is borderless. Here, 16 lives are lost and 40 injured. As you imagine, families are shattered. Survivors are traumatized. Bondi is not just a headline, it's a human tragedy. Stories are emerging. Parents are shielding their children, worshippers fleeing, strangers helping the wounded. These acts of courage stand alongside the horror, reminders of resilience even in chaos. Violence at home and abroad reminds us that safety is never guaranteed. Whether in Providence or Sydney, the duty to protect communities is universal. So, how should nations respond when terror strikes at symbols of culture and faith? Drop your comments below. Thank you.